love when Nintendo is innovative and weird. Drag and Drive is innovative and weird, but I don't love it. I keep seeing people calling Drag and Drive Nintendo Switch 2's ARMS. It's the new IP with the unusual control scheme, but the comparisons end there. ARMS is full of life with silly character designs and a killer soundtrack. Drag and Drive is a cool concept with legitimately innovative controls, but it doesn't have much else going on. You'll play online in 3-on-3 wheelchair basketball. You move around the court by using long, relaxed strokes with the Joy-Cons in mouse mode. The game's words, not mine. It actually feels great. The HD Rumble 2 gives you solid tactile feedback. You can truly feel the wheels moving underneath your Joy-Cons, and that does a lot for your sense of control. You'll also use your Joy-Cons motion controls to shoot baskets, and it feels just like it does in Wii Sports Resort or Switch Sports Basketball. To shoot a basket, you simply lift the Joy-Con up and make a simple shooting motion. It blends perfectly into the mouse mode control scheme, and it feels good to pull off. The controls are tough to master, and it will reward players who put in the time to do it. I'm just not sure many people are going to do it. When you first start Drag and Drive, you'll play through a fairly thorough tutorial that teaches you how to move around the court and how to shoot baskets. Then you'll play a quick game against the CPUs and immediately get thrust into an online lobby. You and 11 players will be placed into 2 simultaneous 3-minute matches of 3-on-3 basketball. And for most matches, all hell breaks loose. Players will be wheeling all over the court, smashing into each other, all in the hopes of scoring a basket. And like most multiplayer sports games, you'll usually play with people that won't pass the ball. You can only communicate with other players via 3 preset shoutouts and by waving your arms. I enjoy this kind of experience usually, but teamwork is so important in this game, and being unable to properly communicate hurts the experience a lot. That said, there aren't really any stakes in each match. There's no ranked play or anything of the sort. It's just casual pick up and play basketball. The only real goals to work towards aren't even found in basketball itself. You can earn trophies by playing a variety of challenges and minigames. These are honestly fun and often tough. You'll have to weave around traffic cones, jump rope, or race for the best time in the areas outside the basketball courts. Some of these required me to try tons of attempts to get the trophies, and they felt rewarding to complete. There was one traffic cone challenge that just seemed impossible to me, so I gave up on it. I played basketball for a while before trying it again, and it was suddenly a breeze. My own mastery of the controls had improved enough through standard gameplay and made a challenge I thought too frustrating feel easy. That was a legitimately rewarding experience. I had tangible proof that I was improving. Every few trophies, you'll unlock a new helmet. There aren't very many of them, but being able to customize them along with their color gives you a decent amount of visual variety in an otherwise milquetoast world. There's no sauce, no pizzazz. Everything is so gray and uninteresting to look at. They're clearly going for some kind of skate park aesthetic, and while there's nothing inherently wrong with the visuals, it's just boring to look at. There's no intrigue. This is the white bread of sports games. It's such a shame. The game leaves you with no real impression of its world. The only character to be found comes from waving your arms around and high-fiving other players. You even get a chance to show off before a match starts, and you know what? There is some sauce here. You feel the energy going into a match. But when it ends? Nothing. The game just ends. You go on, business as usual. You might gain a ring for winning, or lose one if you lost the match, but that's it. Matches just kind of end. I do appreciate the seamlessness of going in and out of matches, but some kind of gravitas would go a long way. Though I did find myself getting really annoyed when I'm playing a challenge and I get yanked away into a match or a minigame. Yes, I can turn off whether or not I join a match or not, but does it really need to stop me in the middle of an activity? It made me just go offline and play the challenges in a room by myself. I still had fun, but it took some of the energy away from being in a room of other players. Speaking of other players, you can play with friends. Arlo joined my public lobby while I was recording footage. I came to find out he didn't even queue into my room from the friend menu, it just put him in there by happenstance. It's not the first time that happened to me either. It makes me curious if the game puts you in friend rooms if they happen to be online. That'd be nice, I guess. That's a level of player choice taken away, but I don't care that much. The choice I do care about is whether or not I can choose to play on the same team as my friend in a lobby. I just can't? This is Splatoon 1 and 2 all over again. If you were planning to go online with 2 other friends and compete, that's not really an option. Playing against randoms with friends was the biggest appeal for me, and I just can't do it? That really sucks, man. You can manually set up games in a friend room, but then you won't have any random players to play with. It's so frustrating. The game will also be frustrating to disabled players. Because of the nature of its control scheme, a lot of players of various disabilities won't be able to enjoy it. And that can even extend to wheelchair-bound players. It's such a shame. I do believe drag and drive is its control scheme, but not having any flexibility in the game's controls for disabled players is a huge miss. One idea I had would be to plug in 2 standard computer mice, one for each hand, but instead of moving the entire mouse, you use the scroll wheels to control your wheelchair. The individual clicks of the scroll wheel could emulate the same feedback found in HD Rumble 2. Inward mouse clicks could pass and outward mouse clicks could break, and instead of using motion to shoot, you could click in one of the mouse wheels to ready the ball and scroll up to shoot. You could do something similar with trackballs as well. I'm curious what other ideas you would have in the comments for alternative control schemes. There was a recent scroll wheel patent for the Joy-Con, so I'm curious if Nintendo was ahead of me on that one. And if they were, it should have been ready at launch. I appreciate Nintendo doing a small-scale game for a cheaper price. $20 isn't bad, but I can't see this game having much longevity. Multiplayer games live and die by their player base. This game is almost exclusively online, so if the player base dies, the whole game does. I think this game would have been better off being $10, or as a free addition to the NSO expansion pack, or both. I think the game itself is good in many ways, but I have a hard time seeing it make the sale. I'd love to be wrong, and I hope that I am. This is the kind of Nintendo I want to see more of. Weird, innovative, off the beaten path Nintendo. I hope that this is the beginning of more smaller scale games with weird controls. I don't think this game succeeding or failing will influence that in any meaningful way, but I do want Nintendo to feel encouraged to keep making weird stuff. I just want the weird stuff to be good and feel complete. The game feels half-baked. Maybe there will be updates down the line that add new challenges, new content, new game types. That would be great. I just don't think this game needed to launch now. Not when Nintendo is preparing to release Kirby and the Forgotten Land Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Star-Crossed World in literally 2 weeks. Overall, there is good fun to be had in Drag and Drive, but I don't see it appealing to the majority of players. When we first saw the game, we all assumed that there'd be more that they hadn't shown yet, and that was only partially true. There's just not a ton going on in Drag and Drive, and because of that, GVG awards Drag and Drive a 5.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching. For all your Nintendo Switch 2 news, reviews, and everything in between, subscribe to GVG. We have a lot more on the way. But until then, keep the games good and the vibes greater. Bye now.